Hi everybody, David Thexton here and welcome to podcast number 3 of Everything Business Consulting, brought to you by ConsultX Business Success Program. This weekly podcast is for those of you out there who are a business consultant or you want to become a business consultant. You may already be a business consultant but are looking to improve your skills. You may be working in corporate and you want to get out of the rat race and start a new career. Or you may be an accountant or ex-business owner. The common theme here is that you are looking for a new profession, one that enables you to help business owners, plan your own lifestyle, earn a lot of money, and have the option to build a substantial consulting business if you want to take it further. Now today, we're going to be looking at the 10 success habits of a successful ConsultX business success partner. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you about ConsultX. ConsultX is an online, cloud-based business consulting application that has everything you need if you want to become a business consultant or become a better business consultant. With over a decade of development, ConsultX offers you a unique opportunity to enter the world of business consulting with a complete system ready to run straight out of the box. In other words, once you sign up, you have access to everything you need to build a business for yourself. Get out of the rat race and invest in yourself with your own consulting business. Manage your own time and enjoy a lifestyle business where you're the boss and you benefit 100% from your efforts. ConsultX provides a complete web-based training system where you work your way through at your own pace, learning all the important lessons that we've learned over a decade of being in this profession. If this sounds like you, then go to www.info.consultx.com. I'll repeat that, www.info.consultx.com, and learn more about this opportunity. So let's get started on the 10 success habits of a successful ConsultX business success partner. Now, over the last 10 years, we've observed what traits and habits and activities are required to become a successful business success partner or business consultant. And we've had a few people that have failed, and we're able to pinpoint exactly where they went wrong. And you're able to benefit from this knowledge that we've gained. Now, we believe that people who have a strong desire to become a business consultant and who are intelligent and motivated will be able to become a success in this profession. ConsultX has honed the client acquisition strategy to a fine art that if you follow it precisely, it will deliver many clients to you. So we say right throughout our training, please do not try to reinvent the wheel because it works perfectly as it is. Hard work and the right activity equals good results. So let's get into these 10 success habits on what we believe and we've proven are the traits required to become an outrageous success in this profession. Trait number 1 is vision. We tell our clients that it's very important to have a vision, so we should have a vision too. So what we tell everybody is that it's important that clients and yourselves have a very detailed vision statement of what you want to achieve by when. Now, we typically work 5 years in advance. 3 years if it's a groom and sell situation, and 5 years if it's a younger business owner who's going to keep the business for a long period of time. Now, a vision statement is it's a one-page document where it's so powerful that when you close your eyes, you can actually see it. Some people make up a dream board, which is a collection of photographs that they use as a screensaver on their computer so that it's constantly reminding them on a day-by-day basis what they're working towards. And the vision statement, it gives a detailed, specific picture of where your business is going to be, and it lists all the things that are important to you. And it's written as if you already have them now. Now, we do a personal vision statement and a business vision statement. The personal vision statement is recommended that it's done with your partner, and the business vision statement is done with the members of your management team. And they kind of interlock together. The personal vision statement is a personal document only between you and your client and his partner. And the business one is something that's shared by the business. But they're interlocked because in order to get the goals that are set out in the personal vision, the owner of the business has to achieve business goals as well, because that's how they're linked together. So in our business success program, we work with the owner of the business, and as I said, the partners involved too, and we document all of the things that are that they're shooting for, that they're set up as their own personal goals, and we draft the document for them. So think about this: a business owner or a consultant or a business success partner with no vision statement is just like a cork on the ocean being blown around by the wind and moving with the tides. In other words, being controlled by external forces. So I found this interesting quote. I don't know who wrote it, but it goes like this: if you do not know where you are going, then every road will get you nowhere. And that's where the majority of people in this world are. I'll read it again. If you do not know where you are going, every road will get you nowhere. Let's move on to number 2, which is attitude. And that is to have a permanent positive attitude all of the time. Now, your clients will expect that from you because you're going to be very positive in the acquisition process, and the management team who you'll be working with on a regular basis, they will take their cue from you. So you need to represent positivity and optimism at all times. It's very important. And remember, there are only victors and victims, so you need to be the victor. So you have to be like a ray of sunshine when you walk through the door, because the clients and their team members will want what you have. So that's really important, to have a positive attitude at all times. And another interesting saying that I've heard over the years, and I don't know who it's attributed to, but it goes like this: refuse to make excuses or blame others. A leader always says, if it is to be, it's up to me. Now, when you're working with clients, you are a leader of the business. You are a strategic manager of the business. Sure, there's the owner and there's the management team, but you're being brought into this business to make significant changes, improvement changes to the business. So you need to have a very positive attitude for all the obvious reasons. The third trait is motivation. You need to have a strong personal motivation, because at the end of the day, nobody can do it for you. It has to come from within. Like, I can train you on all of the lessons and all of the things that you require to be a business consultant or a business success partner, but you have to bring along the motivation that comes from your gut. You have to have the courage and perseverance to do whatever it takes to achieve your vision. And you'll be able to do things. Once you've developed this motivation, you'll be able to do things that you probably wouldn't have believed as possible. So your vision, when you've created it, your personal and your business vision, provides the reason for really going out, fully out, 100%, giving it everything you have, because that's going to help you to develop that internal driving force that drives you along to the things that you want for you and your family. Now, it's the same when you have clients. Like, their personal vision is the reason they went into business. It was an emotional decision to do better than what they were currently doing, working on wages or a salary. So a well thought out vision statement will give you the visual destination that you desire, and it'll help to develop that personal motivation, which is an inner force that gives you the ability to strive for impossible goals. And when you've achieved these goals, you'll probably wonder why you'd been held back in the past. An interesting quote I've seen on motivation is, until you try, you do not know what you can't do. Until you try, you do not know what you can't do. The fourth trait is determination and having a never ever give up attitude. Now, obviously, nothing great was ever accomplished by giving up. And some people say that giving up is the action just taken before becoming a loser. And remember, there are only winners and losers in this world, or victors and victims. And winners never, ever, ever give up. Now, that little saying there comes from Winston Churchill, who after the Second World War went to one of the English leading universities and was given 45 minutes to present a seminar or a talk on how Britain won the Battle of Britain. And he stood up and he said, "Winners never, ever, ever give up." And then he sat down. That was all he did. And they had another 44 and a half minutes or so to fill. And that was all he said. And that was the basis of all of those wonderful things that he did, being the determined motivator of the English people. Another saying that I've collected over the years goes something like this: winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all-time thing. You don't win once in a while, you don't do things right once in a while, you do them right all of the time. Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. Think about that. Winning is a habit, but unfortunately, so is losing. Something else to consider is that you are where you are and what you are because of the dominating thoughts that occupy your mind. Now, what I read out of that is that we all know that thoughts precede action, so we think about things before we do them. So wherever you are today, wherever you are in life, wherever you are financially, wherever you are personally, all of these things are all the end product of your dominating thoughts. So you need to have positive, motivational, dominating thoughts, and you need to be really determined if you're going to make it in this world. Success means different things to different people, but in order to get that success, whatever it may be, you need to have change the thoughts that you're currently having. If you're not happy with where you are today, then you need to change those dominating thoughts. I'll read that again. You are where you are and what you are because of the dominating thoughts that occupy your mind. The next trait is passion and enthusiasm. And we believe that you need to have a strong passion for what you do so that others can visibly see it. Enthusiasm from a salesperson, and we'll use that example, is infectious, and it gets the prospect excited and involved in the sale process. And it shows that he or she believes in what he or she is selling, and that is consulting services. Now, ongoing enthusiasm once you've got the client and signed up is really important to keep the relationship alive. And remember, the very reasons that they were attracted to you in the first place is because of your passion and enthusiasm, so don't let it wane. Think about some famous people in history or modern day history who are very passionate and very motivated, and think about how they had an effect on you and sort of made you wanted to jump on the bus. Really important that you sort of are able to promote that feeling or that indication of how you feel about what you're doing to people that you're selling to. And I use the word selling when we're acquiring clients. I think prospects want to hear, see, and experience people like yourself who are passionate about their product. Because remember, most people are looking for reasons to buy. So yeah, this is an area that you need to work on. And here's another one of those sayings that we don't know who wrote it, and it goes along the lines of, to achieve something you never achieved before, you must become someone you've never been before. I like that one, and that means that if you're entering a new profession, the profession of business consulting, and you've been involved with some other profession or business, you may have to consider that you may have to make some changes in yourself. And if you feel that your passion and enthusiasm is only a 6 or a 5 out of 10, then you need to do some work on yourself, and you need to figure out what can I do to become more passionate and more enthusiastic about this new profession that I'm moving into. Now, People tell me that once they've been through our training program and they understand exactly what we're doing, that develops passion and enthusiasm inside of them. We talk about lots of case histories, we talk about lots of success stories and things like that. And in fact, you'll get this from this weekly podcast as well. So yes, to achieve something you've never achieved before, you must become someone you'd never been before. The next trait is commitment. So once you've made the decision that you're going to become a business consultant, it's our suggestion that you put in a huge effort to get your consulting business off the ground. And like Nike says, just do it. You know, we believe it's like a 747 jumbo jet taking off, and just in case you're wondering, it takes off at full power. There's nothing left in those engines. And once it gets up to cruising altitude, they can back off down to about 50% and cruise along. It's the same in this business. Once you've made the commitment, perhaps you've resigned from your job and you have become self-employed, then we're saying go all out. Go put everything you've got into it, and if it takes you 50, 60 hours a week for the first 2 or 3 months to get the jumbo jet up and going, then if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But it's really worth it, because you can throttle back. Once you get yourself 3 or 4 or 5 clients and you get a list of prospects and continue to work on those prospects, then it might take you 3 months, could take you 5 months, 6 months. But you need to be prepared to do this and put that commitment into your new business to get it going. And it's really like any business. Like, I can't think of any business that you start from scratch and just cruise along. Everybody typically, when they start a new business, gets into it 100%. Some facts that we have researched over the years, and that is the average person whose employment tends to work at about 50% or even less of their potential. There's lots of examples of that. So your challenge, if you're in employment now, moving from employment to self-employment, is to unleash that extra 50% or even more. And it'll be worth it. It will be worth it. We've proven that time and time again with hundreds of people. So your challenge is to unleash that extra 50% or even more. The next trait is focus. Focus, focus, focus. And we believe that the word focus, when we break it down into each of its letters, is follow one course until successful. Now, we've learned over the years that the successful people in our network spend all of their time on their consulting business. And we have found that we've had a number of people, always tell you the truth, that have got distractions and are doing other things, and they're trying to do 2 or 3 things at once, and really they've ended up with a mediocre business. They haven't been anywhere near as successful as they could have been had they have focused 100%. So you need to be 100% committed on being the best business success partner you can possibly be, and stick to our advice and stick to the program as we train it, because as I've mentioned, there's been hundreds of consultants and thousands of business owners have been through this program. There's a little saying that goes, if you try to chase 2 rabbits, you won't catch any of them. And I think that's important to consider. If you've got any other distractions, get rid of them. Honestly, get rid of them. They'll rob you of success in this profession. They'll bring you to your knees. We've seen it time and time and time again. So focus, follow one course until successful is our absolute advice to you. So focus is the price that you pay for outrageous success. So the more time you put into it, the more focus that you put into it, the less distractions that you have, the more successful you're going to be. The next trait is self-improvement, and to have a personal quest for continued learning. Now, you'll know that your education didn't stop after you left school. In fact, it should never stop. So whatever you do in the consulting field, it's strongly recommended that you put together a self-improvement plan and work at it really hard. You see, we've spoken earlier that people that come into our network or come into business consulting, nobody comes into our network being fully trained as a consultant. Now, we provide all of the tools that you need to be a consultant, but we can't teach you the thousands of things that are required to work with a business. These are the things that you need to train yourself on, and we don't know what you don't know. People come to us from HR, from accounting, from management, from sales, all over the place, manufacturing, and they have a particular expertise, which is fantastic. So although we actually provide a lot of the training to try and fill these gaps, you do need to have a bit of a self-assessment, and you need to have a bit of a think about where you lack knowledge, and you need to go into a self-improvement plan of learning. So read books, take courses, buy DVDs, but do not let your personal quest for learning ever stop. There are lots of podcasts out there. Of course, we have our weekly podcast. There are case histories on our ConsultX website, which are very, very useful. There are Harvard educational resources on our hub, on the ConsultX hub. So every dollar or hour that's spent in improving yourself will return dividends to you beyond what you would believe were possible. And also too, remember that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. We become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So have a really good look at those people and make some pretty important decisions there. Little saying on self-improvement is, it's what you learn after you know it all that counts. It's what you learn after you know it all that counts. The next trait is communication. You need to have excellent communication skills. Now, you need to be able to effectively put your case forward to prospects with passion and credibility. That's very important, because you're going to need to be at your very, very best, top of your A game as you're acquiring clients and prospecting them. And then you're needing to, well, once you do that, you need to have very good communication as you're building the relationship as time goes on. Now, you know that communication skills are not just verbal, but also include body language, and that can be, sometimes it can be more important in some instances, of course. The important part of communicating with business owners is that you need to listen to what the prospect is saying, because in a lot of cases he or she will be telling you what they want to buy. I know in the first 2 meetings, especially the discovery meeting, that's the first meeting we have with them, when we ask them a whole series of questions, they will tell you in their response to those questions what they want to buy. So by listening carefully and taking notes, you can adapt your selling approach to match what the buyer's requirements are. And that's why we have a 3-stage or 3-phase process of client acquisition. So if you feel that your communication is perhaps could be better, then you might need to take a communication course. I know in this part of the world there's Toastmasters. It's probably up in America and Europe as well, but there's certainly going to be courses around wherever you live which will help you to improve your communication. We try to achieve a 90% 10% communication ratio. In other words, in the acquisition phase, they speak 90% and we speak 10%. We ask the questions and they give us all of the answers. There's a saying that goes something like, he who asks the questions controls the meeting, or something like that. And there's something else to consider too. Opportunity is often lost when we are broadcasting when we should be tuning in. In other words, don't talk too much. It's really important that you let them talk, because they will become relaxed and they'll tell you everything. And they'll tell you things that you don't even want to know. Number 10 of the traits is trusting relationships. We need to have the ability to form lasting, trusting relationships with clients. Now, the lifetime value of a client, in some cases, it could be enormous. I know with the clients that I had, I won't talk numbers, but some of my clients, their fees to me were doubling every year because the revenue was doubling every year. And of course, remember, it's far easier to earn more from an existing client than it is to go out and get a new one. And I think we all know that. Over the years, we've come across many professionals who earn millions of dollars, and I'm not exaggerating, working in the field of providing additional services. Now, these are not consultants of ours, these are people that I know who do additional services like mergers and acquisitions, business sales, complete business re-engineering, and things like that. And additional services is an extension to what we do as a consultant. So if you feel you lack in this area, and I'm talking about the area of building relationships, there's many good books on this that you can read and try to become an expert in here. In training, we give you our top 10 books. I think 2 of those books are based on relationship building. Clients will spend more money with you if they like you and trust you, and they'll repel other consultants or coaches if they're approached in your favour. Now, a good client, where you have a good relationship, will give you many leads or referrals, and that's money in the bank. Like a good referral is 90% money in the bank. And a good client could be worth, just to throw some numbers at you, over the next 5 years, between $300,000 and $500,000 over the next 5 years. The sky is the limit, totally up to you. There's a very good book on trust. It's called the Trusted Advisor Field Book by a guy called Charles Green. So, and that's recommended in our training program. Do go and have a look at that. So, trusting relationships are the key to long-term profitable consulting careers. Remember, we talked earlier that the difference between a business consultant and a business success partner is that we work long term with business owners, and business consultants tend to work short term, working on projects and assignments. So trusting relationships are the key to long term profitable consulting careers. So let's do a quick review of the 10 success habits of a ConsultX business success partner. Number 1, vision. You need to have a highly motivational, detailed vision statement of what you want to achieve and by when. So does your client. Number 2, attitude. You need to have a permanent, positive attitude. Number 3, motivation. You need to have a strong personal motivation. Number 4, determination. You need to have a never, ever, ever give up attitude. I know with my clients, I never, ever gave up on them. No matter how bad it got, I would always find a way to help or save them in some cases. Number 5, passion and enthusiasm. You need to have a strong passion and strong enthusiasm for what you do, so that people you're talking to, clients and management team, can visibly see it. Number 6, commitment. Having made the decision to put a huge effort into your consulting business, then put 120% effort into getting it off the ground. Number 7, focus. Follow one course until successful. Number 8, self-improvement. Have a personal quest for self-improvement and superior product knowledge. Continue learning. Number 9, communication. Have excellent communication skills. It's so important. And remember, we talked about 90%, 10%. You talk 10, they talk 90. And number 10, trusting relationships. You need to have the ability to form lasting, trusting relationships with clients. Now, this could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you, so it's really worth developing those skills. So as a final comment or quote in the 10 successful habits is, the day that you take complete responsibility for yourself and the day that you stop making excuses and blaming others, that's the day that you start the trip to the top. I'll read it again. The day you take complete responsibility for yourself and the day you stop making excuses and blaming others, that's the day that you start the trip to the top. I like that saying. I think that's very, very it's perfect for what we look to achieve in our network, and I think that we all want success, whatever success is. And I do believe that we need to stop making excuses. We know that the consulting market is out there. It is huge. It's churning. We know that we have the best system in the world for working with clients. And we do believe that if you're able to follow these 10 traits and work on the areas that you're weak in, you'll become a very successful business success partner. My definition of a lifestyle business is one where you decide the hours you want to work, who you work with, and how much you want to earn. Many people I talk to describe in detail the drudgery of their current job, hours of commuting, boring meetings, little chance of promotion, and remuneration just enough to live on. Imagine a business where you can take the kids to school when you want to, have a 3 or 4 day weekend when you want to, cut out the commuting, and have complete freedom of your time. Business consulting is a business where you get paid for what's between your ears, not the hours you work. Working on a percentage of revenue basis frees you from time-based earning systems and takes away all the income ceilings. I've worked from home since 2005, and right now I'm looking out of my office window at the green rolling pastures of New Zealand, about 50 kilometres south of Auckland. Fantastic. But in order to move forward, you have to make some important decisions to make that change. You've already started that change by listening to this weekly podcast. This podcast is all about that change, and each week we'll be highlighting a number of topics and features that will be of interest to you, whether you are already a consultant or you are looking to become one. We will interview people in our network and dig deep into what makes them tick and why they've become successful. We will read out your letters and answer them for you. We will discuss a case history from our client files. We will discuss a special topic every week from our listeners' suggestions. Bottom line, if you're a business consultant or want to become one, this is the podcast for you. This podcast will be recorded every Monday, New Zealand time, and be available to you each Wednesday, United States time. Our email address for communication is david@consultx.com. That's david@consultx.com. If you want to get more information right now, then go to www.info.consultx.com. I'll repeat that, www.info.consultx.com. There you will find everything you need to know to become a part of our consulting network. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week on Everything Business Consulting.